Good morning, this is Jerry over at Finn Tire and Auto. We have your vehicle in for service. We are doing the oil change. We also had a brake inspection, checking for brake pulsation. What we had found there, one, in the rear of the vehicle, the technician's already taken the caliper off to expose where the brake pads were at. The brake pads were stuck in their holders. And when they're stuck, they can cause overheating of the brake rotors. You can see the bluish tint on the rotors. The rear brake rotors are out of round or warped. To correct this, we need to replace the rotors, the pads, and then test drive. We did not feel anything up front. However, the front brakes look like they've been replaced fairly recently. The calipers look like they've been replaced. The one thing we noticed right here, if you see this moisture, there's brake fluid that's seeping out. Now, if you see, there's these copper washers that hold the brake line, the brake hose, to the caliper. Well, they also left the original factory washers, so essentially it's double gasketed. This side, they did the same thing, however, you can see it's dry. But this gasket here, it should be one or the other, and they've got both gaskets in there. So that's something that we could correct for you here while it's in for service, but we would have to bleed the brake system back out if we did that. You also had a concern of the noise when turning. That noise was due to low power steering fluid. So what you're hearing is the pump that's basically pulling in air. Hydraulic pump should not be pulling in air because it can actually cause damage. We added fluid, the noise went away. We did inspect and find a leak. Now if you look up here, there's a line up there. That is a power steering return line or a power steering cooler line that's basically corroded and leaking. We would need to replace that line. We do have a power steering rack that is starting to leak. If you look right here where the moisture is, basically inside here there's a seal. Fluid's starting to come in. It is the very early stages, but something, that may be a problem down the road. Other things we noted during the course of the inspection, the vehicle does have the original exhaust system, and you can see going back here after the muffler where this flange is rotted. And if you see this black soot, that's actually carbon buildup from the exhaust that's been leaking before the muffler. It's not uncommon. This flange is rotted out, and ultimately there's no way I can get a gasket back in there. You can see how the flange itself is just rotting away. There's no flat mating surface anymore. The next spot where we could replace down the system would be at this flange. This flange is still intact where we could salvage it. We would need to go from the catalytic converter back to replace that exhaust. Also on the vehicle, we noted it does have 166,000 miles. It's got original struts on it. This is a strut assembly, essentially a shock absorber with a spring built into it. And if you can see how the bellows is all dry rotted hanging down. Manufacturers recommend struts every 50,000 miles. Do we do it every 50,000 miles? No, but ultimately you got 166,000 miles on the original strut assemblies. This is the front one up here. Replacing strut assemblies on the vehicle essentially restores the original ride height, the original ride quality. Also, when struts wear over time, what it does is it lengthens your stopping distances. So when you make a panic stop, the struts, when they don't absorb the road, they allow you to slide a lot further than if you had new struts on the vehicle. My name is Jerry. When you get done viewing this video, give me a call. I'll go over the inspection results with you. There were a couple other maintenance items that we found as well. Give me a call at 440-439-2244.